Hello and welcome back to Throttle Up. Today is Kia Seltos Day, where I'll be covering 3 Kia Seltos in quick succession. So consecutive videos will be Kia Seltos different variants now, from HTX Plus to HTK Plus and obviously the GT line. This one being the Kia Seltos HTX Plus, which is basically the top end variant of the tech line. So there are 3 lines: tech line, GT line and then X line. This is the tech line, which has a lot of variants from HTE to HTK, HTK Plus, HTX and then HTX Plus, this being the topmost variant. It gets a lot of features as compared to the previous generation of the Kia Seltos, and obviously a lot of design elements have been changed as well. So the grille is bigger, the headlamps are different, the tail lamps are new, the alloy designs are different, you get ADAS now, but that's only for the GT line, you do not get that in the tech line, but still there are a lot of features which have been added as compared to the previous HTX Plus. So a lot of things to cover. The Kia Seltos overall gets 3 engine options with different sets of transmissions, so I'll cover them one by one. The first option is the 1.5 naturally aspirated petrol, then comes the 1.5 naturally aspirated petrol combined with a CVT transmission, then is the 1.5 completely new turbo petrol engine which is coupled with an IMT gearbox, and then second is the DCT gearbox which is obviously fully automatic, and then there comes the old 1.5 diesel option which is coupled with one IMT and the other is the automatic option. But in this HTX Plus variant you get 3 options for the engine and the transmissions, which is basically the 1.5 diesel IMT, second is the 1.5 turbo petrol IMT, and third is the 1.5 turbo petrol DCT. This particular car being the 1.5 litre turbo petrol IMT variant, which produces 160 PS of power and 253 Newton meter of torque, and I have to state that this is a completely new turbo engine. It says Turbo Smart Stream 6 and has good insulation on the bonnet. It's packaged very nicely, the engine also and the insulation. The insulation is very nicely done and the bonnet, and there's a lot of it actually, and the bonnet has gotten way heavier than the previous generation of the Seltos, so that's very nice, might add to the safety as well. Now for the design elements of the new Seltos, the front, first thing is that you get a bigger grille which is finished in piano black, which is nice. You get this chrome of sort of finishing which we have also seen in the previous generation as well. The grille gets a horizontal bracket like design and it's open at the bottom so as to provide more ventilation. Obviously this is the connected DRL treatment which has changed from the previous generation. It looks really nice indeed. The headlamps have become sharper somehow, even though they retain the similar design language as of the previous generation of the Seltos. Complete LED treatment through and through, where you get the indicators as LEDs. These are 2R LEDs and that's the high beam LED which is not lit up right now. Typical signature Kia design for the DRLs, which runs from the corner till the very center of that grille. Vertically placed fog lamps which are still again LED, and that's the LED treatment which they have done to almost extend the DRL to the center of that grille, which is very nice. You get chrome accenting in the bottom of that grille, piano black accents covering the fog lamps. So a lot of colors and a lot of design elements, but it still looks very easy on the eye, so I really like that. From the front, the facelift feels like a facelift because it's gotten better, but it still retains a similar design language as to what we have seen in the previous generation. So a really nice job done from the front when it comes to the exterior. Now for the side profile, the first thing is that it's grown in length. The length now is 4365 millimeters as compared to 4310 millimeters previously. The width remains the same with 1800 mm, and the wheelbase is also the same with 2610 mm. Now you get chrome door handles obviously, but there is no request sensor on the co-driver side door. The turn indicator is obviously on the rearview mirror, but you do not get any cameras because this one does not get an ADAS. That's only for the GT line. The wheels are 215 60 R17s and obviously two-tone machine cut alloy wheels. The design is not very easy on the eye and looks rather standing out from the overall design of the side profile, but still I prefer the GT line's alloy design more, which I'll show you in the GT line video. But yeah, still a good design nonetheless. Somehow reminds me of the Alcazar's alloy wheel, if you remember that. But yes, the 17 inches are a nice touch. You get roof rails which are finished in 2 colors, silver and matte black, but they're non-functional obviously. You get chrome on the door sill which runs to the very end of that rear, as you can see. You get an integrated spoiler as well, which adds to the appeal of the rear profile and the side profile. The fuel lid is on the left hand side. Now this is where the things get really interesting when it comes to the overall facelift of the Kia Seltos, because you get connected tail lamps now, and They are very nice to look at. I personally will prefer them any day over the previous generation's tail lamps. They were good, but these are better. That's a personal choice. This integrated spoiler houses a stop lamp. You get the rear defogger, rear washer, and wiper. It has the new Kia badging, which is like sort of engraved, not engraved as such, but yeah. At the top of the tail lamp, you get LED treatment for the indicators and the tail lamps overall. It looks good. You do not get the sequential function, but that's restricted to the GT line, but it still looks very nice indeed. It's finished in a very nice way. You can see how the so-called trapeziums inside that tail lamp look, which adds the coherent feeling across that tail lamp, be it in the center of the connected tail lamp or the corners of the normal tail lamps. You get the front parking camera, which is housed right there. You get a front parking sensor, which is in this gloss piano black treatment. The reverse lamp and the reflector is housed here, which does not feel like a fake exhaust treatment, so that's really nice. I love this treatment with the gloss black finish. You obviously get a rear skid plate as well, and I am in awe of this rear design. I genuinely like it. But how do you like it? Please let me know in the comments whether you like the previous one or this one. You do not get a power tailgate, so you have to make do with an electromagnetic button, which is a standard. The loading lip is low, which is nice, but the depth is obviously a compromise, but you still get 433 liters of boot space. The fifth wheel is not an alloy, it is a steel wheel, and it's also a size smaller, which is an R16 wheel. You get a lamp in the boot, you get 60-40 split for the rear seats, and a Bose subwoofer, because this is a 9-speaker setup, a 9-speaker Bose setup indeed. So that was for the boot. It's decent. The depth could have been bigger, but that would have increased problems because the loading lip would have been higher and all of that. So a decent boot space. I'm not complaining, and you obviously can increase it by tumbling down the rear seats. Now let's get into the rear seat. But first, let's open the car. I have just pressed the request sensor. Now the doors have become a tad bit heavier, but still on the lighter side as compared to the Tatas of the world. Now the door pads get a very nice treatment. You get sun blinds first. You get hard plastic treatment at the top, but you get piano blacks. But this is soft. This is black. This is also soft. This is hard. So kind of mix of the soft and the hard plastics and piano blacks and that tan color beige. You get very nicely done design for the Bose speaker. So it has a lot of design elements, but it still looks good. I absolutely love the color. It reminds me of the luxury cars, and specifically the BMW 5 Series. 2 generations before, it had the exact same color in the interiors, and I genuinely love what they have done in the interior of this car. The legroom is very good, the thigh support is adequate, the headroom is a tad lesser because of the panoramic sunroof, but still the legroom is, I cannot complain about. The rear seat is shifted to the bottom most setting, but still I am 5 feet 9 inches, my legs are tall, but I am still comfortable. My legs are almost touching, but no one requires that much space at the co-driver seat. But this is the normal setting. As you can see that there's a lot of space because the car has grown in length. Wheelbase although remains the same. We can also recline the rear seats, and you get 3 adjustable headrests, so that's very nice. So there's just good enough space, and the airy feelings is amazing. You get a center console armrest, which I'm not able to show you right now because of the polythene, but it gets 2 armrests in a very normal way with nothing like that you haven't seen before. You get grab handles, and the lamp is placed right there because you cannot place lamp in the center because of that huge panoramic sunroof. In a very typical Kia and Hyundai fashion, you get the air purifiers, 2 rear AC vents, 2 USB sockets, type C USB sockets, and some place to keep your phone if it's charging. Scooped out seat backs finished in plastic to give that luxury feeling of the premium cars, and this is how the dashboard looks like. Tell me you don't like it, and we really would have to actually battle it out in the comments because I like it. It has definitely become better as compared to the previous generation because of that connected lamp, and primarily because of the color that they have used, and a lot of that dashboard is soft treatment, so that's genuinely nice. From the rear, I personally like this space because it's comfortable, it's very airy, and you get this very nicely done and colored rear seat. Now the key has also changed. You get buttons on the side which has the door lock and unlock function, hold to open the tailgate and all of that. There's the Kia badging on the different side of the key, but the buttons are placed in a different way, which I like. It's a different take on the key, so nothing which is difficult to use, but still new is always appreciated. The door pad treatment on the front door remains the same. You get tweeters at the front, so, and they are very eerily designed. I am not a fan of the tweeter design, but I like the speaker, the Bose speaker design more. As you can see at the bottom, the piano black accenting around that door handle is genuinely nice. It feels very premium. And the tan color, obviously, I just told you I'm a big fan of that. You get all the four rear power windows as auto up and down. So cool. I love that, and it's also available in the lower variant HTX as well. So as you can see, the rear window is also one touch up and down. Genuinely nice. Love that. It's a very good thing to have. Nifty thing, not very unique, not very useful, but still good thing to have. You get obviously electrically adjustable ORVMs, or obviously electrically openable and closable as well. You get 8-way electrical adjustability for the driver side seat to adjust the lumbar support, the height of that seat, and obviously the recline angle and the position overall of that seat. You do not get any welcome feature like that of the Lexus, but maybe in 10 years time we'll also get that in Kia. This is the IMT, so you get two pedals. That's the traction control button, auto start stop enabler, headlight leveler, and this is the engine start stop button. This is finished in soft treatment, so all that tan color that you see is finished in soft, be it on the dashboard obviously or on the seat. The one thing that is a problem is that center console armrest. Why the hell is it finished in black? Why not in the tan color? That's genuinely problematic to me, but that's just me. Do let me know in the comments if you have a problem with that or not. But yes, that center console armrest should have been finished in the tan color. Now this is what you see while you're seated in the driver's side seat. You get a leather wrap steering which is very nicely finished. You get buttons and this silver accenting around the buttons with the third spoke which says Seltos right at the bottom. That accenting is very nice, has piano black finish, so it feels really premium. There are two stalks which house the wiper and the headlamp controls. There is a manual lever so that you can adjust the tilt adjustability and also the telescopic adjustability for the steering wheel. Now this is a 10.25 all new instrument cluster which was not available in the previous generation of the Seltos. This is restricted to the HTX Plus and the upper variants, which is basically the GTX Plus and the X line. You get a lot of features in that which I'll just show you. These are the buttons to obviously handle the cruise control, and the top left button is for the MID controls, the instrument cluster basically. The left buttons are for the infotainment. This is a 10.25-inch instrument cluster which was not available in the previous generation of the Seltos, and this is only restricted to HTX Plus, GTX Plus and the X-Line variant of the new Seltos. You can change the look and feel of this instrument cluster, although this look is my favorite. There are 3 preset looks and the fourth is a dynamic one which you will just see on the screen. There's a second one, there's a third one, and then there's this dynamic one which basically has a complete digital treatment. You get a host of features from trip information to the compass. Everything is in that instrument cluster. You get a big ass tweeter and subwoofer in the dashboard. Now the integrated treatment obviously houses the infotainment in the center. It's very bright, very crisp, nothing you would not expect in a Hyundai or a Kia, because this is pitch perfect and a gold standard in a sub 20 lakh rupees car infotainment setups. Hyundais and Kias cannot go wrong with their infotainments, so that's for sure. You get sounds of nature, you get the AC controls in the infotainment as well. You get the Kia Connects, you get a wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is kind of a letdown because the 8-inch setup in the HTK Plus offers a wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I don't know what's that about. Very simple to use, very nice to use. You get inbuilt navigation as well, voice recognition, you can connect multiple devices, you can have different user setup as well. You get a rear parking view button because you do not get 360 parking camera in this variant. That's only restricted to the GT line. You can obviously control the simple vehicle settings, AC settings, and the cluster settings through the infotainment. You get sounds of nature, which I first experienced in Tucson and I've been a fan of it ever since. Because of that Bose setup, that ASMR experience is really elevating. So it's very nice. I love that they have given this, and obviously that Bose sound system is amazing. So no complaints anyhow. The dashboard feels very premium. You get slim AC vents. This is soft touch, this is hard touch however, but still very premium plastic. The depth of the dashboard is nice. These slim AC vents are a thing of beauty. I love when the AC vents are not in my face. The HVAC unit gets a completely new treatment with these buttons which have a good, very nice tactical feedback when you press it. The infotainment controls also get the rotatable volume button, which is a very nice touch. Reminds me of the Jeep Compass somehow, the button feel. You get a wireless charger, 12-volt socket, USB socket, Type-C socket, and some space to keep your stuff or maybe even the phone. You get piano black accenting around and center console with the buttons for the ventilated seats for the driver and the co-driver side. the rear view parking camera button and the parking assist button. Since this is an IMT, you get a leather finished gear knob, where you can obviously change the gears. You get two cup holders, and when you press this button, you obviously get the rear parking camera. As I was just telling you, you can adjust the width and the viewing angle through the screen itself. You get two cup holders, which are very basic. You do not get the electric parking brake because that's restricted to the GT line. In terms of ergonomics, there's center console, there's glove box, there's two cup holders, some place to keep your stuff in the front of the center console, and everything has decent amount of space, so good enough. Even the bottle holders on the doors have good space. You get adjustable headrests, adjustable seat belts, very good bolstering in the seat, and the seats are really plush and comfortable. This design on the seat leather is not very appealing to me, but still it looks good. You get auto adjustable IRVM, so you don't have to switch the day night functionality manually. You get a sunglass holder. There's mirror on the co-driver side sun visor, but there's no mirror on the driver side sun visor. There's a LED cabin lamps, which is nice. And since we are talking about a Kia, how can you not have a panoramic sunroof? Yes, this one gets a very big panoramic sunroof with one touch operation, automatic blinds, a very huge glass pane which goes almost to the end of that front seat, so you have a lot of airiness in this cabin specifically. The panoramic sunroof is across almost all of the variants because only the HTE and HTK do not get the panoramic sunroof. The HTK Plus gets the panoramic sunroof in only the DCT variant of the turbo petrol. Otherwise, all the other variants, the GTX, X-Line, HTX Plus, STX, do get the panoramic sunroof as standard. Now that is the Kia animation that you get when you open the door or close the door while you are exiting the car in the first place, or just unlock the car and got inside. So that animation on the infotainment and the instrument cluster in tandem shows up. A very good part about the Kia Seltos is that most of the safety features are standard, meaning that you get almost all the safety features across the variant lineup. 6 airbags, electronic stability control, vehicle stability management, hill start assist, ABS, all-wheel disc brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, rear parking sensors, all of this in every variant. So that's very nicely done. Very, very, very nice. I genuinely like that Kia is taking the feedback that they have gotten into their product development, and they are prioritizing safety, because recently we have been hearing a lot of things which maybe were true, maybe were not true, but yes, when the brand takes notice of the customer feedback and the overall sentiment, that is almost always appreciable. So this was my review of the Kia Seltos Facelift HTX Plus variant. So do let me know in the comments, what do you think about this car, whether you are planning a new Kia Seltos, and which variant would you consider? Would that be the GT line or the Tech line, and which variant of the Tech line? Would you be considering the same HTX Plus variant, or would you be considering something below it or maybe above it? So do let me know in the comments, and also which engine and which transmission would you buy? I personally would go for the 1.5 turbo petrol because turbo petrols are talk of the town and it promises a lot of power and it's a completely new engine. So I would love to try that out. And yeah, that is from my side. In case you are wondering why hasn't the price been talked about in this video, because the prices are yet to be launched for the specific variants, but yes, the bookings are now open with 25,000 rupees, and expect this variant to go at around 18 to 19 lakh rupees ex showroom. So yeah, that would be my guess, because the top end variant, the GT X line and the X line, would be maybe costing around 21 to 22 lakhs ex showroom. So yeah, that would be my guess, but yeah, that's the ballpark figure we are looking at. And I'm assuming that you have stayed this far in the video, so you like my content, so please do not forget to leave a comment or like the video and recommend this to other people, so that more audience is catered and more people, more car enthusiasts join my community. So yeah, thank you for watching Throttle Up. Subscribe to this channel for more such content. Do like the video and please drop a comment as to what do you think about it, so that we can have a better interaction. Keep watching Throttle Up.